Hi, my name's Merv, and I'd like to share with you this evening some of the things that have been uncovered by a Dr. Robert O. Young. And the slide pictures I have to present to you come from the Innerlight Inc. Corporation in Provo, Utah, as well as Dr. Young's studies that he shared with me as I've gone to his class and have become a student of his. Okay, here we have a picture of a hamburger. Okay, if you look at it carefully, what we're trying to see is how much light it's emitting. We're using some Kirlian photography techniques. And here is a hamburger, an entire hamburger. And the little light you see coming out, where do you think this light is coming out from? Well, if you think about it, it's probably the lettuce here. The lettuce is sticking out the sides, giving it a little bit of light. And if you look on the right side here, it's written down that is producing 3 to 7 megahertz of energy. Okay? This picture here is a picture of a single lentil sprout. Okay, only one single raw lentil sprout. If you look on the right there, it's producing over 150 megahertz of energy. Isn't that amazing? Here is a picture or a slide schedule of the pH scale. We all learn about this in chemistry when we take biology or chemistry. As we know, on the left side is 1, which is highly acidic. On the right side is 14, which is highly alkaline. And of course in the middle, at 7, it's pH neutral. Now let's look at some of the foods we eat today. Consider that first one there called soda or pop or whatever we call it, which we like to drink. It measures 2.85. Now how is soda so acidic? Well, you may say, we have sugar in there, we have artificial colors, and also if you look carefully on the label on Pepsi and these different colas, it has phosphoric acid inside. And phosphoric acid, as I worked as a chemist, we used to take iron filings in a steel mill, throw it into a beaker, and put some phosphoric acid on it, and within a few minutes it would go into solution, which we could analyze under a Quantivac or some other machine. Now, why would they put phosphoric acid, which is a strong industrial acid, why would they put it into soda? Well, some say they like to feel a little extra buzz, a little extra zing. So that's why they put it into soda. But look how acidic it makes it. Coffee. Coffee has got a lot of caffeine in it, which is highly acidic. Beer. We know that beer is somewhat acidic. Now how do we make beer? Well, they take water in a barrel, put a little bacteria in it, and dump some hops in it. Let it ferment, and in time, it produces this beer. Now, if you consider this, the bacteria is a living organism. It's giving off waste. Okay? Now, what does that beer look like? Well, a lot of the kids I know say it looks like pee, or it looks like urine, the color of it. And what happens is that the bacteria gives off this waste. And it's called, in biology, it's called endotoxins and mycotoxins. And so in the beer now, we have these wastes, which is very deleterious to the health. It's very harmful. And people who like this drink, they're getting a lot of mycotoxins and endotoxins into themselves as they partake. Now let's look at hot dogs. What are hot dogs made of? Well, we know that in foreign countries we can eat various parts of the body. A cow, we eat the tongue, the tail, the hoof. But here in America, well, it's not too cool to eat parts of the body like that. So we put everything into a grinder and we grind it all up. We put the heart there, the liver, the gizzard, the tongue, and the hoof and the tail. Grind it all up, put a little spice to it, put it into the intestines tube, and we sell it in the market as hot dogs or sausage. And it's wonderful. Everybody loves it. But it's acidic, and it brings upon, for a lot of people, eating the innards of the cow or the animal, it brings on this properly called a rich man's, disease. They call it gout. Rich man's only because they eat the richer parts of the cow, the innards of the cow. Okay, so upon this scale, we see that we are eating a lot of acidic foods that are on the left side here. Okay? If we took the energy levels of what we saw from the hamburger, we see it down here in the bottom left as a little triangle which is producing about 3 megahertz, as you remember the hamburger was producing. A typical diet of today runs at about 50 megahertz, and yet our bodies, our machines run at 70 megahertz. Now consider this. As we continue to eat 3 megahertz foods and 50 megahertz foods, and we are actually 70 megahertz being, how do we cope with eating low energy foods every day? You're right. Eventually, it'll catch up with us. We won't have enough energy to sustain us, to keep us going as stronger as we usually do. Here's an interesting slide here. This is the molecular structure of red blood cells and chlorophyll. In other words, the one on the left is the blood of the human, and on the right is the blood of the plant. Do you notice any difference between the two molecules here? Look at it carefully. Okay? To tell you the secret, it's actually identical. There are only 2 elements in here that make a difference. The first one is, on the left side is iron. Okay, on the right side is magnesium. Now if we take the magnesium out, replace it with iron, and expose it to air, it'll turn red. The blood of the plant and the blood of the human being are identical. It's like if you do eat the blood of the plant, it's like giving yourself a blood transfusion. It'll give you energy, it'll give you a boost. Now, if you ever microwave that molecule on the right side, a chlorophyll molecule, or cook it, it'll change the structure of that molecule and cannot serve the same as before. So consider that. Consider every time you microwave or cook your foods, the more you cook it, the more you microwave it, the more structural change you bring into the molecule. And it can't serve the purposes it was intended for.